I gave Reminiscence 7.5 in the number 10 spot on this list. It had great acting, as you would expect. It was kind of, how do I say this? Confusing, but not in the way they wanted it to be. The plot didn't seem to make much sense, and normally in that style of movies, it doesn't make sense, and then it all comes together at the end, right? Reminiscence didn't really do that. It was sort of just cloudy the whole way through for me. Although I'm gonna sing its praises again to the acting, world building, that's what it's called. That was very well done. The whole thing with the reliving memories, which it was all pretty much based on, was unique and clever, and I enjoyed that aspect of the movie a lot. Which, 7.5 is a good rating. Number 9 on the list is The Starling. I give it an 8 out of 10 on the Soy scale. It had very good storytelling and pacing throughout the movie. It was very interesting to see how this mother dealt with her grief, as well as this opposite kind of foil-like character of her husband, who dealt with grief in a very tragic way. The contrast that this movie set up is very well done, and the representation of the starling, the bird, as something originally to overcome and then to grow to love. I also saw the 5 stages of grief throughout, represented by the starling. She goes through each stage of grief, reflecting it on the starling, instead of how someone else would take that personally in themselves, which is sort of what the husband did. So it was really great contrast between characters there. Number 7, I'm not going to talk about as much. I put Finch. Scores 8.5 out of 10. It got a little bit long. It felt a little bit dragged out. Very character-driven story, and I appreciate that in movies a lot. The whole thing is just Tom Hanks and a robot and a dog being Tom Hanks, a robot, and the dog. And it's really interesting to watch how the robot grows as a character, how Tom Hanks grows as a character, and how there's a dog. I really like dogs. Number 6, I put Mitchells and the Machines, but I'd actually only give this one a score of 8 out of 10 instead of an 8.5. I just like this one a little bit more. It was a very new kind of adventure for an animated movie. I related a lot with the main character and just the family dynamics in general. Again, super unique, great acting on all parts. Again, this one did get kind of long. There's a few sequences where I was kind of like, alright, this is going to age very badly. I really like this movie. Maybe it's just the fact that it's animated, and I'm a sucker for anything animated. The number 5 spot, I put Disney's brand new movie, Encanto. Gonna see a bit of a trend with animation. A super lighthearted, fun adventure. All the characters were exactly what they need to be, charming when they need to be, and unlikable when needed to be. A bit too early with this movie, so I don't want to spoil it. But good movie. And the number 4 spot, also getting a 9 out of 10, I put Luca. It's such a wholesome film, guys. If you haven't watched it, just watch it. The creativity and the simplicity of it is really what sells it for me. Like, when it comes down to it, it's just 2 little fish boys trying to get motorcycle Vespa. And that's it. That's the whole movie. Really, it feels a lot like a kid's film, I could say. But it's Pixar's kind of a kid's film, so there's still that level of maturity to it. I think anybody can pull something out of. Plus, it has a character that looks like this. Like, yeah. Just look at that. Wonderful. The number 3 spot, I put Minari, also having a 9 out of 10. And Shut Up. I know it came out in 2020. It came out officially in the United States in 2021. So get fucked. really character-driven story that I like a lot. I really admire this child actor. It's hard to find children actors. Most children actors are not that good. I'll say it. I don't know, maybe I'm just an edgelord, but this kid was such a good actor. I felt every bit of emotion behind this kid. I have very little personal relation to this story, and the fact that I can still feel the full extent of what was going on with this kid, and every member in the family for that fact. They all did such a beautiful job. I don't even know if this counts as a movie. Number 2 spot, 10 out of 10. Oh, also Spider-Man got a 10 out of 10. Number 2 spot, 10 out of 10. In and of itself. I've heard nobody talk about this. There's nobody else seen this besides me and my mom. I watched it with my mom. This magician telling his life story through fucking magic tricks. And it's really emotional. And I don't want to spoil anything because I really feel like nobody's watched this and everybody needs to watch this right now. Okay, so these top 2 movies for me for the year have been stuck in my head, like, the entire year. I think about this movie so much, and everything that this guy says so much, that it was hard to put it on this list fairly, because I'm not sure if this is just a movie that connected a lot with me, but holy fuck, man. This is such a good thing. I'm gonna watch it again soon, and maybe if I'm inspired enough, I'll make a full cover of it. I don't even want to say anything else. The notes I'm looking for here, it literally just says speaks for itself. The movie speaks for itself. The act speaks for itself. Number 1 spot, 2021 best movie. It's Cherry. If you've seen this movie, it's probably your number 1 movie too. This one I just rewatched before making this because I wanted to talk about it a little bit more, being number 1. Obviously 10 out of 10. First off, the acting, holy shit. No more praises need to be sung to Tom Holland. Everyone knows what a good actor he is at this point. This was the first movie that really made me, like, respect him as an actor, I guess. Because I always felt like he was typecasted at the same fucking nerdy, likable Peter Parker guy. So much more respect for actors that play more than one kind of role, which at that point in his career was kind of what Tom Holland was doing. So that totally broke it out for me. Beautiful job by him. It's like all the supporting cast. Like, holy shit, this dude, I hate that guy so much. That's exactly what they wanted me to feel. Visuals in this movie were very interesting, very cool, very nifty, even. The way some words were edited on the screen really makes you think about them, you know? The part in basic training where they're just getting yelled at by the drill sergeant, and those words are just in big bright red text on the screen. Like, it sits there, it sticks with you, which is exactly what they were going for, because of course they're sticking with our main characters, and having those words that bold, that prominent, makes them stick in our mind the same way. Like, dude, holy fuck, that's so clever. Never has a movie captured how much I hate the American government as this movie does. To sum it up simply, we have young baby Tom Holland, who's like just existing, being a dude, right? Normal life. He falls in love, but then there's problems in the relationship. She decides to go to another college. He decides to join the army. Terrible idea. Don't join the army. I hate the army. 2 years. He does the whole military thing. Gets PTSD. Rightfully so, because there's all the reasons you think people get PTSD is there. None of the military is glamorized in this movie. It all was very gritty, very simple. It wasn't dark to the point where, like, Saving Private Ryan is dark. It's realistic more than anything. When he comes home and his PTSD is so bad that it leads to terrible heroin addiction, bringing the girl that he loves down with him. The chemistry between these two characters is so real. He truly loves her. That's spoiling it. His confliction between wanting her out of his life so she can be better for herself, improve for herself, but also understanding the addiction, understanding this is what you feel she needs. Eventually they run out of money, their life is just in shambles, and they decide to start robbing banks, which has a whole another layer to this. Because now, not only are they criminals for doing drugs, they rob a shit ton of banks, which puts so much emotional weight on Tom Holland, because he's a war hero, and here he is robbing a bank, shooting up. Confliction in this character between this idea of he should be a hero, he is a hero, and this is what his life is now. He didn't want this. He didn't want any of this. He was just sad, so he joined the army. I hate the government. Because this is exactly how they fail their people. He served for them, and now here he is, with no protection. Cherry, 10 out of 10. Best movie of the year. Let me know if you like my rambly little list. I also watched a bunch of TV shows this year and kept the same kind of list for them. So I might do a top 10 TV shows of the year list. By season, so of course, not entirely new shows. But yeah, leave a like if you liked it. And leave a comment if you can, because holy moly, my comments are broken. Later.